You earned more this year than ever before, and you still feel broke. That is not bad luck. You are repelling money. Every single month, wealth flows into your life and leaks right back out like your bank account has a hole you cannot find. And the worst part, your brain is doing it on purpose. There is a subconscious financial operating system controlling every dollar that enters your life, every dollar that stays, and every dollar that quietly disappears. You did not choose this system. Someone programmed it into you before your 12th birthday. And until you reprogram it, no raise, no hustle, no new revenue stream will ever be enough. The energy of money is the invisible collection of beliefs, emotional reactions, and automatic behaviors dictating your entire financial reality. Think of it as a frequency. You broadcast that frequency around wealth every single day, and it either pulls money toward you or silently pushes it away. That frequency explains why two people earning the exact same salary end up in completely different positions 10 years later. One builds wealth, the other rents the appearance of it. The difference is not discipline. It is not intelligence. It is the subconscious programming running underneath every financial decision they make. Most people never examine this programming. They just keep earning and wondering why the money never stays. You are not most people. You are here because you sense something deeper is blocking you. And every month you ignore that instinct is another month your old programming hemorrhages your future in silence. Here's what we are covering. 5 deep psychological shifts that reprogram your financial thermostat from scarcity to abundance. Not affirmations you tape to your mirror. Identity level pattern interrupts that change how you unconsciously interact with every dollar in your life. They compound on each other. Each shift amplifies the one before it. And the 5th shift locks the new programming in permanently. Skip even one and your old patterns will exploit the gap to drag you right back where you started. So what exactly is your financial thermostat? And why does it keep dragging you back to the same number no matter what you do? Think about the heating system in your house. Set it to 72 degrees. Temperature drops. System kicks on. Temperature rises. System shuts off. Always pulling back to 72. Your subconscious runs an identical system for money. There is a number, a range, that your nervous system considers normal. Every time your bank account drifts above or below that range, your behavior adjusts to bring it right back. You do not notice. It feels like your own decisions. But the thermostat is choosing for you. Picture this. You close a massive deal, biggest commission check of your life. Within 6 weeks, you have spent most of it. New watch, car upgrade, picked up tabs you normally skip. Now you carry roughly the same balance you always carry. That felt like celebration. It was a thermostat correction. Your subconscious saw the number exceed the set point and manufactured spending decisions to normalize it. You thought you chose those purchases. Your thermostat chose them for you. But here is where it gets dangerous. Most people never identify their set point, so they spend their entire working life bouncing between the same financial floor and ceiling without realizing the ceiling is artificial. Money keeps flowing in and flowing right back out. A river with no dam. And the most unsettling part? You will defend the set point. You will argue it is just the cost of living, just bad timing, just the economy. It is none of those things. It is your thermostat protecting itself. Shift 1. Identify and rewrite your inherited money story. Every person alive carries a financial narrative authored by someone else. Your parents, your neighborhood. The environment you absorbed before you could question any of it. That narrative became the blueprint your subconscious follows for every financial decision. And it is running right now, whether you see it or not. This is exactly the kind of deep subconscious reprogramming the VYBO Wealth Blueprint addresses. Not surface-level budgeting tips. The actual psychological protocols that identify your financial thermostat setting and systematically raise it. If you're serious about changing your relationship with money at the identity level, check out the VYBO Wealth Blueprint. Link is in the description. Think back to your childhood dinner table. What happened when money came up? Did people whisper about it like something shameful? Did voices rise and doors slam? Or did your family discuss it openly, strategically, like a tool that could be mastered? Whatever you witnessed became your definition of normal. Your subconscious has faithfully recreated that version of normal ever since, and it will keep recreating it until you consciously intervene. Here's the pattern nobody connects. If your childhood story says money causes conflict, you unconsciously avoid accumulating enough to trigger that conflict. If your story says wealthy people are selfish, you sabotage yourself every time you approach real wealth. Your subconscious will not let you become someone you learn to despise. If your story says there is never quite enough, you create scarcity no matter how much flows in. Money flows toward people whose stories welcome it. Money flows away from people whose stories fear it. That is the energy at work. So here is your first tactical move. Write down the 5 phrases you heard most about money before age 12. Not what your parents intended to teach, what you absorbed by watching their faces, hearing their tone, feeling the tension in the room. Then ask yourself one question. Am I still living inside that story? Because the gap between your income and your net worth is not a budgeting failure. It is the distance between what you earn and what your inherited story says you are allowed to keep. But rewriting your story is only the foundation. The second shift reveals a ceiling you did not know existed, and it explains every act of self-sabotage you have ever committed around money. Shift 2. Identify your earning ceiling and deliberately push past it. Most people do not have an earning problem. They have a holding problem. There is a specific income level where your subconscious builds a dam across the flow of money into your life. And it disguises that dam so well, you mistake it for reality. Every day you stay below it is another day wealth accumulates on the other side. For someone else. Here is how the dam shows up. You procrastinate on the exact opportunities that would push your income higher. You pick fights with high-value clients. You undercharge on projects worth 3 times your quote. You over-deliver to exhaustion so you can justify saying no to more. None of these feel like self-sabotage. They feel reasonable. Zoom out and the pattern screams at you. Every time you approach a certain number, friction appears from nowhere. That friction is not the market, not bad timing. It is your thermostat pulling you back. Want to know your exact ceiling? Look at the highest amount you have ever consistently earned for more than 3 months. That number is your thermostat setting. Everything above it triggers resistance, and here is what should keep you up tonight. You have been living below that ceiling your entire adult life, mistaking the limit of your programming for the limit of your capability. Those are not the same thing. Here is the protocol. When you hit a new income level and everything inside you screams, something is wrong, that you got lucky, that it cannot last, you do not retreat. You hold. Stay at the new number long enough for your nervous system to recalibrate. 30 to 90 days of sustained exposure. Think of it like swimming in deeper water. The depth is not dangerous. Your fear of the depth is what drowns you. Every retreat reinforces the old ceiling. Every hold resets it higher. The people who build generational wealth did not earn the most in 1 year. They expanded their capacity to hold the most over time. That capacity is a skill, not a gift. If you want to go deeper on these wealth psychology frameworks alongside a community actively resetting their financial thermostats, the VYBO membership offers exactly this work. Weekly deep dives, accountability structures, and advanced protocols that rewire your relationship with money from the inside out. Link is in the description. So far, we have dismantled 2 layers of your financial thermostat. The inherited story, controlling your beliefs about what you deserve. And the invisible earning ceiling your subconscious enforces every time you try to break through. Those 2 shifts alone will change your trajectory. But now we cross into territory that separates people who earn well from people who actually build lasting wealth. The next 3 shifts address how you hold, protect, and grow money once it enters your life. This is where most ambitious people quietly lose everything. What comes next matters more than anything we have covered so far. The 3rd shift determines whether money actually stays. And this is where most people hemorrhage wealth without realizing it. Money flows in, the ceiling rises, and then it bleeds out through 1,000 tiny cuts disguised as normal life. Let me be direct. How you spend reveals your financial identity more than how you earn. Earning responds to external pressure. Spending responds entirely to your internal relationship with money. Most people spend from emotional reaction, not strategic intention. Their spending is a slow leak in the hull of a ship they think is sailing fine. Think about your last 30 days of discretionary purchases, not rent, not groceries, the impulse buys, the convenience spending, the status signals nobody asked for. How many moved your life forward? And how many were emotional painkillers? Temporary relief from stress or boredom, or the feeling that you deserve something nice after another exhausting week. Feel that answer in your body right now, because the distance between strategic spending and emotional spending is the distance between building wealth and renting the appearance of it. Shift 3. Spend like a builder, not like a consumer. Consumers ask, can I afford this? Builders ask, does this move me closer to or further from the life I am engineering? One question protects more wealth than any budget spreadsheet ever could. It shifts the decision from affordability to alignment. Wealthy people do not avoid spending. They spend with surgical precision. Every dollar either builds their future or erodes it. There is no neutral transaction. Here is your protocol. For the next 30 days, before any purchase over $100, write 1 sentence explaining how it serves the future you are building. If you cannot write that sentence, do not make the purchase. This single practice will expose exactly how much of your spending is strategic versus emotional. That awareness alone breaks the pattern. Now here is what separates the top from everyone else. The 4th shift reveals why even strategic spenders still lose everything they build. And it has nothing to do with earning or spending. It has to do with how you feel when money actually shows up. Think about the wealthiest moment of your life. The peak. Highest number you have ever seen in your accounts. How long did it last? Be honest. What happened next? The money vanished, not from an emergency, not from one catastrophic decision, from a series of small unconscious moves that drag the balance back to familiar territory. A nicer apartment you justified as an investment, a car upgrade that felt practical, a string of generous dinners that consumed the surplus. That felt like living well. It was your thermostat correcting course. Shift 4. Build your tolerance for financial discomfort. Nobody in the financial advice world talks about this. Wealth creates anxiety, real anxiety. The fear that you do not deserve what sits in your account. The suspicion it will vanish any day. The guilt when you have more than the people you grew up with. The restlessness whispering something must be wrong because things are going too well. Every dollar of future wealth you will ever build depends on how you respond to those emotions. Get this wrong and money flows in and flows right back out for the rest of your life. Get this right, and wealth compounds in ways you have never experienced. Here is the truth that changes everything. Those emotions are not warning signs. They are recalibration signals. Your nervous system adjusting to a new financial reality. Discomfort is not danger. It is growth. React to those signals by spending down the surplus or making reckless investments or giving money away out of guilt, and you slam the thermostat right back to its old setting every single time. The protocol is simple. When your bank account hits a new level and you feel that magnetic pull to bring it down, do nothing. Sit with the discomfort. Let your nervous system catch up to your bank account. Do not solve it by spending. Do not numb it by avoiding your statements. Look at the number every day and let your body learn. This level is safe. This is not passive. This is deliberate financial conditioning. 30 to 60 days and the anxiety fades. The new number becomes your floor instead of your ceiling, and you are ready for the next expansion. But here is the shift that locks all four in place. Without it, everything else eventually unravels. Rewind your last 7 days. Every conversation about money. Every thought when a bill notification hit your phone. What did you actually say? Did you say I cannot afford that? Or I am choosing to allocate differently right now? Did you say money is so tight? Or I am in a building phase and every dollar has a job? Did you complain about costs? Or identify a gap in the market that rising costs just created? Those sentences did not describe your reality. They constructed it. Every single one programmed your subconscious to expect, accept, and recreate the exact financial situation it described. Your mouth writes the code. Your subconscious executes it. Think about the scale. 20 statements about money per day. That is over 7,000 instructions per year telling your subconscious what financial reality to build. If those instructions carried limitation and complaint for 10 years, 70,000 commands to stay broke. No wonder wealth never stays. Shift 5. Change your wealth language permanently. Every word about money is a direct instruction to your subconscious. I cannot afford that programs scarcity. I am choosing to invest my resources elsewhere. Programs abundance. Money is hard to make programs struggle. I am learning to earn at higher levels programs growth. The words have to match the thermostat you are building, not the thermostat someone else installed. This is not about pretending to be wealthy. It is about speaking to your subconscious in the language of the identity you are constructing instead of the one you inherited. Start today. Here's your protocol. 7 days. Audit every sentence you speak and think about money. Write down the phrases you use most. Rewrite each one from the perspective of the person you are becoming, not the person your environment designed you to be. 1 week changes awareness. 30 days rewires the pattern. 90 days makes it automatic. 12 months and the person who said, "I cannot afford," that no longer exists. The new version speaks about money with confidence, with intention, with ownership. That version becomes magnetic to wealth through a subconscious identity that expects it, protects it, and compounds it relentlessly. The energy shifts from repelling to attracting. Picture yourself there. That is not a fantasy. It is an engineering project. And you just received the blueprints. 5 shifts. Your inherited story rewritten by your own hand. Your earning ceiling shattered and held. Your spending surgically aligned with the future you are engineering. Your tolerance for growth unshakable. Your language reprogramming your subconscious every day to build abundance instead of recreating scarcity. That is the energy of money working for you instead of against you. Stop repelling wealth. Start becoming magnetic to it. You are writing your own financial blueprint now. Your move. Now, if you want the exact framework for identifying the subconscious beliefs capping your income and the step-by-step protocol to dismantle them permanently, that video is playing right now. Go watch it.